Hi everyone, welcome to MTMs Meet the Mind series. What this series is a kind of snapshot into the lives of MTMers. So hopefully you'll get to know us a bit better. We're starting off the Meet the Mind series with Rob Collier. He's the head of strategy, also my boss. And today we're going to get under the skin of what makes him tick, both inside and outside of work, and just, get his views on topics that might be of interest to everyone at home in tech and media at the moment. Good morning, Rob.
Hi, Mo.
So if we start off with something work-related,
Thank you.
If you had to describe to someone who asked you on the street, what keeps you busy at work day to day, what would you say?
It's a pretty difficult question because what we do is quite varied and it's also, quite nebulous, I think, at times, certainly in the strategy team. The things that keep me busy are difficult client problems, I guess. We get approached with challenges that don't have straightforward solutions. And I spend a lot of my time thinking creatively about how to solve those problems, what data we need, what arguments we need to make, and then crucially how that needs to be communicated into a client team or into a set of stakeholders that's going to most likely, make a success and allow people to make decisions and ultimately to succeed.
Okay.
So spend a lot of time sitting in a quiet room with lots of sketches of on paper hanging around my desk thinking.
You're our resident firefighter. You're here to fight fires when they arise.
I like a puzzle.
You do like a puzzle?
I like a puzzle.
Do you like Rubik's Cube?
I do like a Rubik's Cube, yeah.
Okay, I can imagine when you were a kid, you just did them in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think my record time on a Rubik's Cube is nothing to shout about, but it's 1 minute 50. So
wow.
So that's not anything on the world record, which is 4 seconds or something. But
okay. And how old were you?
I don't know. It's probably it's probably like an embarrassingly old teenager. I was probably 15, 16 was probably my Rubik's Cube phase, which probably tells you enough about me. We can stop the session now. He was doing Rubik's Cubes as a 15-year-old. There you go.
Okay, this segues quite nicely into the next question.
All right.
Which is around your superpower. So you've got to pick two.
Okay.
What are your two superpowers?
I think this probably applies to work. It might apply to outside of work, but I would say that the things that I bring to a team is curiosity and kind of enthusiasm and energy. I kind of host our team stand up on a Monday morning. I think it's fair to say that I bring my Duracell bunny kind of vibe to that meeting. I think that's important. For a modern team to have lots of energy and enthusiasm.
Yeah. It is hard at 10 a.m. on a dreary Monday to...
Yeah, 10 a.m. By 10 a.m. I've I've done loads by then. So
yeah.
That's nothing. You should see me at 8:30 on a Monday morning.
Okay. So if we're thinking about projects that you've done recently, mm-hmm. Are there any that stand out in your head, particularly as ones that you're kind of really proud of?
Yeah, it's a hard one. Kind of that mix of kind of enthusiasm and curiosity means that I enjoy, I enjoy lots of projects, lots of different types of projects. It's quite hard to pick out a favourite. Thinking recently, we've done a lot of work with Ofcom, with DCMS on the future of TV. I'm really proud of that work as, MTM and our 3 Reasons colleagues have been able to kind of create this consensus view of what the future of TV might look like. And I'm hopeful and I'm optimistic that it's given a kind of quite broad set of stakeholders across the kind of TV and video industry something with which they can plan what the future of TV might look like. It's just at the beginning of that journey and making some quite big decisions about the future of the DTT platform. And MTM and 3 Reasons have provided a lot of evidence and thoughtful analysis that's helped to kind of get us to where we are and hopefully help keep informing those decisions and keep being part of the debate. I find it's really interesting, it's really important, it's really enjoyable as well. So
yeah,
it's been a lot of my time over the last 18 months, and hopefully will be a bit more as we go forward.
Yeah, it feels like at the moment a lot of the topics that we're getting in terms of briefs are very future-facing. A lot of things around generative AI and how the media landscape's going to change over the next 5 years. Obviously, it's already incredibly rapidly changing.
Yeah.
What would you say are the kind of key topics at the moment that keep you up at night?
Well, I think, beyond the future of TV, kind of work stream. There's Gen AI, which I think we're seeping into a kind of like trough of disillusionment maybe with generative AI. We'll come back out of it the other side like that, that might be where we are on the hype curve, not sure, but maybe we haven't peaked yet. But I feel like there's a little bit of tepidness, certainly around LLMs. In terms of, big things that I worry about, I think, and would want to influence, and I think we do influence a fair amount. MTM is, I think technology and media have an awful, like a really big role to play in the climate crisis. And I was on an Edinburgh TV panel recently with someone from BAFTA who was talking about the role of TV and production in telling kind of climate stories within their programming. And I think that really underlines like how influential this industry can be in terms of tackling the climate crisis, which there's no TV on a dead planet, so
there isn't. I also think
got to fix that first.
I also think it's really interesting, the kind of generative AI, LLMs point, in terms of the kind of carbon intensity that, that generates, and how, I guess all industries will come to kind of reconcile with that over the next few years. I think that's going to be a huge thing, because that's massively increasing the kind of overall carbon footprint of, the media and tech industries as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff around, how much energy does it take to run a search engine? How much energy does it take to run a Gen AI query? It kind of links back to the project that we're doing for the DCMS at the moment, and part of that brief is to consider the net zero implications of different forms of watching TV. And one factor that I hadn't considered in this, in this landscape was the role of a router, like a broadband router in a household, and how much energy it takes to kind of power that box, which is normally on 24/7, unlike a TV, for example, which would be turned on and off and have a different kind of energy pattern.
Yeah.
Which is, part of the findings from in the report.
Yeah, I wonder how much they'll be able to integrate, smart home devices and IoT devices into things like that, to be able to kind of reduce energy usage or kind of optimize it to certain times where you might be, using broadband more heavily, like in the evenings when you're watching stuff. And
yeah, it's not something that we covered, but I think it's true. Like, you could even just changing the power output of a Wi-Fi router to say, okay, during peak times you have quite a high power, which extends the range of the Wi-Fi network, but at other times of the day you might scale it down depending on how many devices need to be connected and how frequently you need to poll different devices. It's a potential solution. But yeah, I think it's that we need to be more conscious of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Okay, well, hopefully everyone's still with us, because we've digressed quite a bit. But
they're still here. We're not broadcasting live, so they can pause and come back.
Penultimate question: what keeps you busy outside of MTM?
Well, this won't be news to any of the team, because I tell them about it constantly, which is true. But I have a voluntary role outside of MTM where I do a lot of cycling campaigning and a lot of advocacy work, which focuses on getting more people cycling their bikes for everyday trips. It's not a sport thing or a necessarily leisure thing, but trying to encourage people to cycle to the shops or to the gym or to work. Or to school. So I do a bike bus, which you know about, which is an amazing thing. If you don't know what it is, look it up. I run a group of volunteers that helps families cycle to school together in a group. So we have a bike bus every day to different schools in our area, and we cycle children to school. It's really fun. It's very fulfilling. So I mean, I get a lot of my 10 a.m. Monday morning energy because I do a bike bus at 8 a.m. So you speaking to scatty kids on the way to school while they're on a bike in traffic. That's a quite good way to wake up.
Okay. I mean, Rob is a Brompton religious fanatic. He's always got his Brompton with him.
Yeah.
But
it's the best way. It is.
I think that would be the one item you would save if this building was burning down.
Oh,
right?
100%. Yeah. Brompton would be saved way earlier than my laptop.
A work laptop could stay.
No, well, that's backed up, right? The Brompton, Brompton's special.
That is true.
Yeah.
Okay. And final question. What is your top media pick of the moment? Is there anything that you are reading, watching, listening to that we should be aware of?
So right now, and this is a bit of a guilty pleasure, right now, I'm rewatching Prison Break. which is on
Okay.
Disney Plus. I got served like a reel of it, and I was like, do you know what? I will go back and watch that. I've watched the original series, and I didn't commit to watching more than the first one. First 2 series are really good. I don't remember feeling as good about series 3 and 4. So I'm rewatching that, which I'd recommend. That's like quite. I think it's pretty good, to be honest. The thing that I'm excited about is that there's a new Walking Dead series being launched on Now TV. Other SVOD services are available, but on the 31st of May, so that's in a couple of days.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to that. So if you ask me that in a week, it's probably going to be The Walking Dead.
Okay. Well, I guess in a week's time we'll find you wrapped up in a duvet, just binge watching.
Yeah,
Walking
binge
Dead.
watching zombie thrillers. Yeah, that's me.
Well, yeah. Thank you so much
Nice
for your
one, mate.
time.
That was fun.
We'll see you next week, guys.
Let me know if you've got any
for
questions
more of the
about
same.
Prison Break or The Walking Dead. Okay, bye.
Bye, everyone.